Hi, thanks for joining me. This is another do-it-yourself coloring sheet. I did several do-it-yourself coloring sheets for adults, and this is for more geared toward children, I will say. Now, adults can do this too because it's fun, but I'm going to do more of a subject matter for children. So what I have here, of course, you use stencils. So this is a stencil I have by Crafter Square. And of course you can pick up stencils with these designs on it from any place or any brand that you want. It doesn't matter. This one is really neat because it has this cutout window in it, which helps you focus on just one main thing. But I also have cutouts. And I think I told you about this in one of the other videos. So this is a little fun cutout that came with one of my grandkids' toys, and they didn't want it, so I grabbed it. We're going to use this. First of all, what you want to do is take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of copy paper, and that's all you need. No special paper is needed for this because you're going to use like crayons or you're going to use color pencils on this. You can also use markers, but the paper may not hold up as well to markers. So if you really want to use markers on these coloring sheets, then I suggest using a paper that is good or receptive, I will say, to markers. So you can find something like that. What happens is when you use the marker on it, it won't bleed through to the other side. Well, with these, you only want to put a design on one side, and then you can color it like that. If you don't care, you can put a design on both sides. So fold the sheet in half, then fold it in half again, and that way you can make small size coloring sheets, and then when you get more comfortable with it, go to a half sheet or a whole sheet. And that will be fun. I enjoy making these as much as I enjoy, if not more than I enjoy coloring them. So this is going to be this is going to take up quite a bit of this coloring sheet, which will be alright. If it was on a larger scale, then we'd add a lot more markings to it. So I'm just going to use the pen. And that's what you need, a pen that has at least a fine point. I would suggest using a pen with a fine point. That way it's not taking up so much space. This pen may be a medium point, and I'm using this so that you can see the design more easily. It's up to you, but you just don't want the outline taking up so much space or getting so much of your attention. However, you can do it and it will not matter. So there, that's my main subject, which I use the cutout for that. That's my main subject. And now I'm going to flood the open spaces. They're called negative spaces or open spaces. I'm going to flood them with a design. And I looked at these designs. I kind of like this one because it sort of imitates waves for me. It looks like a mountain, hillside, or waves. Alright, so we have the main subject there, and I'm going to place this on here, and I'm just turning it to see the design the way that these markings will go. So I'm going to come in some so you can see that a little better. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to place markings on it. What happens is it's the square is not as large as this rectangular space that I've made, which will be fine. So I'm going to put it towards the top part of the paper up here. The stencil is being placed towards the top part of the paper, and it does have a border around it here. I'm going to run that border right up to the edge of the paper. That way this design will run right off the page. So I'm putting it up to the edge here, and I'm putting it up to the edge over here on this side also. I'll have to do some, let me see, I'll have to do some more markings down here at the bottom to make it sort of flow. I'm trying to see if that's where I want to make them. I guess that'll work. And now all I'm going to do is just trace the inside of this so that it will show up to make it look like it's behind the boat, because the sailboat is the focal point. I'm not going to draw over the boat. I'm going to do the outline, but do it behind the boat, which means I'm not going to just run it over there. I'll stop when I get to the edge of it, like right there. Come right down to there. So I go all the way around, and when I come back to the edge of the boat, I stop. Just like that. I don't want to run over it. And that's the part you have to pay attention to. So I want to come right up to the edge of the bottom of the boat, and then right here up to that part. I don't want to go inside there at all. And remember, don't rush. If you rush, sometimes you may mess up. I'm going a little faster than I would normally go because I'm doing the video. And I don't want to take up all of your time, but I want to do enough on camera so that you are comfortable with it. I used to do the fast, I don't know what you call it, hyper speed on my videos, and some videos that's okay to do, but when you're trying to learn certain things that may be a little more detailed, you want to be able to hear what I'm saying instead of just watching me play speed draw or catch up. Making sure here don't run over the edge of any part of the boat. There, and then I come here. Now, what's happened, I've done everything else, and now all I have is here, which is between the sail and the base of the boat. I couldn't leave it alone, but to make it look more complete, I'll go right through here. Again, going to the edge of the boat, bottom, and the edge of the sail up here. And that's the part that you take your time and concentrate. And now I have a few lines up in here. Just making sure I don't run over. And there we have it. Now see, so it's empty down here. What I can do is come down here and try to make sure I'm going to extend the lines this way, lining them up here where the other lines were to extend them over. That's all I'm trying to do. See if I can extend them over where they would continue through the boat or behind the boat and come out on the other side. This, I didn't do a great job of this. but I want you to get the gist of it. I put the line down here on these bottoms. I could have just left that open and ran those lines right on over. So those are coming this way. I think it's probably time to take something this way. And I'm going to just line it up with these. Since I made those lines there, I'll line it up with those lines. So that it looks normal. And that's all you do, really. There's not really much more to it than that. See how the lines, all these lines look like they're running back behind the boat. That's what you want to do. And that's a simple one. You can get a little bit more intricate by adding designs into all of these figures, but this is for the beginner level, and so we want to keep it kind of simple and not so cluttered. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for joining me. Check around your toy boxes or your area where your toys or your things are kept, and you may have some of these cutouts already. You can also use these cutouts in reverse, and what I mean by that is, see this little cat? This is a cat. I can use this. I can also use this piece to trace, so it's up to you. There's a fun part about using these. You don't have to be so worried about making such a mistake by going way off. This keeps you contained in that little area. All right, thanks for joining me. Until next time.